Hello everyone, Spot of Nerd here with a brand new episode from this guy right here. Can't think of anything cocky to say right now, but I do want to shout out real quick. We're going to do a double feature here.
That's right.
Great. The yours?
Uh-huh.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Cool.
Excuse me, but you're spraying everywhere.
Oh.
2 episodes, 2 drops, all at the same time. One of them is going to be all about politics, which I know everybody wants to hear about that. Just being real with you, this is going to be a little bit more of a fun episode where we talk about reviews on TV, movies, etc. But at the same time, if you follow the channel, you'll know we've done this before. But if you are new, we do talk about other things than just reviews and movies, TV and stuff. We actually do talk a lot about real life. Obviously, politics being one of them, specifically with recent events. But we also get into life struggles. I am not afraid to talk about a lot of my health conditions, and I think it's really important to talk about it because there are others out there that are probably in far worse positions than me, but also might be in a similar position as me, and sometimes it's just nice knowing that there is somebody else out there. So anyway, we have a lot to cover, so I hope you'll stick around because we're just gonna have a damn good time right now and discuss a shit ton of things that we actually used to do. If you go way back into this channel, we used to do weekly updates and monthly updates of what I'm watching and seeing, and so much now I've become very old, so I have to write it down on notes. So with that, let's roll. Right out of the gate, I want to talk about something amazing that I recently just watched. If you have Amazon Prime, The Blue Angels is a new documentary that it was in theaters, believe it or not. It was in IMAX for about maybe a couple weeks. It might still be if you can find it near wherever you might be. Absolutely incredible documentary. So it's a movie / documentary based off of The Blue Angels, the flying group that you more than likely have seen if you're remotely interested in aviation. And obviously I have a very special place in my heart for them, and this documentary, 10 out of 10. It tells the story of the current group, or I should say within the last 2 or 3 years, and it tells the story of the first show of the season all the way up until the final show of like the 2023 season. So beautifully done, visually amazing. If anything, now that I've seen it on my television, I actually wish I almost saw it in IMAX, because some of the scenes with the jets is like holy shit, and how they got some of these scenes is mind-blowing. So I hope you have a big beautiful OLED television, because trust me, that is the only way to watch it. But trust me, if you're looking for something fun and exciting and that's just got jets and power and shit in it, The Blue Angels and Amazon Prime right now is fucking amazing. If you follow the channel, I say that a lot, broken record, Spot of Nerd, I absolutely love Nathan Fillion, and obviously he is starring, or is one of the main stars really, in The Rookie. Now, I'm actually really pissed off because thanks to the stupid Hollywood strike, The Rookie apparently already had its season finale of season 6. Why am I mad? Because it only had 10 fucking episodes when it normally has twice that. So yeah, I'm kind of pissed off. At the same time, still kicking ass. If you're, like I said, if you're a fan of Nathan Fillion, he was originally starting out as the Firefly cowboy, space cowboy. Moved on to being Castle and God knows what else. He's been in thousands of comic book films, and if you know him, you know him, but trust me, as an LA cop, the show is all about him being, starting off as a rookie and moving his way up to being a full-fledged LA cop. The story arcs, the storylines are only getting better. And you got to admit, when a show can get to season 6 and still do amazing things, it's a great show. So I'm super glad they did get renewed for a season 7. Supposedly we'll get a full season this time, as long as no other bullshit happens in Hollywood. But the bottom line is, if you're a fan or if you haven't seen it, The Rookie is something to check out for sure. Something that I have been drastically meaning to talk about because of the unbelievably epicness that it was is none other than Clarkson's Farm Season 3. Yes, it's been out for a few weeks now, maybe even a few months, but I haven't really just found the spot to kind of talk about it. But I hope and I pray that you are also a fan. If you are not, what the fuck is wrong with you? But Jeremy Clarkson's Farm, or Clarkson's Farm rather, is just a beautiful reality show. It's a beautiful docu-series almost. I don't really know what you call it other than just awesome. It tells you the story of his day-to-day life around his own farm, now that he's moved on past the cars, past the big shows in London, this and traveling the world, yada yada yada. And it just really shows how much love and passion he has for not only just farming, but for that way of life. He's making it's one of the best things too, because he's making a difference in the farming world. We don't need to go down that road of I'm not going to preach to you right now, but the bottom line is, there's so many people right now that are so blind to the fact that the food that you eat every single day just magically appears on a shopping shelf. And it just doesn't. It really doesn't. It takes hard work and just many hours of many days of many years of ordinary folk, including Jeremy Clarkson, to really make that happen. And it's hilarious. It's funny. You got all the usual crew. Caleb, you've got, God, I'm so clearly I'm terrible with names, but the whole cast is there. And this season was kind of really hard at times, he tried to raise some pigs and unfortunately some of them died. So there's actually some really heartbreaking moments in the show, but there's also some really great advancements. He's only expanding his shop, he's only expanding the journey of Diddley Squat Farm, so it'll be interesting. Apparently he signed on for multiple contracts, so it's supposedly we're gonna get a season 4, 5, and 6. That's just the rumor mill I've heard, but I cannot wait, because trust me, if you want a fun, great show to watch, even with your kids, I would say Clarkson's Farm is one of the best shows on television today. Super quick, we've just had a few episodes, but Apple TV has a show called Trying. I have probably maybe spoken about that much on this channel, but it's one of those shows I truly love and adore. They're on season 4 right now. It's supposedly going to be the last season, but ultimately it's just a beautiful story of a couple that has wanted to have a baby but can't, so they adopt, and it's very British, shall we say. It's just beautifully done. It makes you get all the fuzzies inside. It's got funniness, laughter, drama, sadness, the whole 9 yards. Ultimately, if you're looking for something that's just casual fun, surprisingly on Apple TV, I say that because they've actually been coming out with some really good stuff lately, and I genuinely did my hat to that. So check it out. Trying. Trying is the show. Try to watch Trying. All right, 180, flipping 180. I gotta just, maybe we'll do a full review soon, but I just have to briefly go over real quickly with you guys. Star Trek Discovery just wrapped its final 5th season. Sweet mother of God. How do you just create such horse shit? Absolute horse shit. I can't even, again, I've always said this, so much is up here that you want to get out, but it's very hard to sometimes. Ultimately, I was a huge fan of Star Trek Discovery in the first 2, maybe 3 seasons. I really did enjoy it. I thought it was great originality. I thought there were different stories being told, and then it just went down, just skyrocketed down and blew itself to pieces. And ultimately was because of politics and agendas. It's not, there's no other reason behind it. It really isn't. This season, you can kind of, like the final 5th season, you can kind of tell they wanted to change things up and get a little bit more originality to it. But it was so tragically horrible. Like, you've got crazy explosions and action happening, and then we're gonna pause for 5 minutes and ask how you're doing, how you're feeling about it. It's fucking terrible. And the series finale, you almost genuinely feel embarrassed for the actors and whoever was the producers and the writers, etc. You could just tell, like, it was an hour and a half for the last episode, and there's just scenes that they're stretching out just to kind of make up some time, and it's cringe. It's absolute cringe. So I hate to break the news to you, but if you're a fan of Discovery and you were waiting, maybe just waiting for the whole season to drop, save yourself 10 hours. I promise you'll thank me later. I just pray and I hope Stranger Things. Although I'm excited hopefully for a season 5 whenever the fuck that happens. I do hope with Star Trek, specifically what is it? Strange New Worlds. They're gonna come out with a season 3 here. I hope that is just as good because I love that show. Season 1 and Season 2 have been nailing it. So hopefully somehow, some way, Star Trek can redeem itself through there. But obviously it's Paramount's job to do it. And Paramount is Paramount. Another show that actually did finish, and I've talked about it multiple times here, which maybe in the future, yeah, we will do a full review on it, but Star Wars The Bad Batch, who knows, maybe I've already talked about this, but they did ultimately finish the entire series, and I'll give them a little bit of credit. You know, as we've said many times on here, Star Wars is technically dead in my view. It's at least bleeding very, very much out. And The Bad Batch surprisingly was one of those little pieces of glimmer of hope that kind of gave you a little bit of the old Star Wars feeling. And I think they wrapped it up pretty well, you know, especially with the guys and fucking, what is their name? Omega. I think they did a really good job of tailoring the original stories, kind of the in-between stories, and then ultimately it led you, Omega will join up with the rebellion. So it wasn't perfect. I think there were definitely a lot more filler episodes, but season 3, as I've said before, really nailed it on the details to really kind of keep you watching. It's very rare for Star Wars to do that now, and I think that's just where I'm a little bit more optimistically hesitant, or hesitantly optimistic, but at the same time, trust me, I have absolutely no doubt that the Acolyte is going to suck so bad. It just, from the trailers, from everything in between, apparently the fans are already, we haven't even had this show released yet, and the fans are already racist and homophobes and everything in between, so we can only imagine how shit that this show is truly gonna be. Yours truly as well. I've got to tell you, just very briefly, X-Men 97. The first season ended, and I do have to reiterate what I've said before, where I was originally thinking this is gonna be shit. There are shitty pieces to it. I really do feel there is a Disney feel to it, in relation to, I don't understand why we have to talk about sex all the time. What is it about talking about sex? Jesus, like, it is a fucking Marvel Comics series about fucking superheroes. Why are we talking about sex all the time? Anyway, that's beside the point. Surprisingly was a decent story. My only knock on it, really, from the whole first season, I don't think it gets to really honor the name of X-Men for like the 90s cartoon. I would almost prefer it's a separate series. I really, really would. I love how they're doing the animations. I love how they're tying certain stories to the original comics, but ultimately they're two different series. They really, really are. So continuing off of what we had in the 90s, X-Men 97, I just feel it's something that supposedly we are going to get a season 2. Just leave it at that. Let it just be its own series and forget the past. Only in relation to, if you're a 90s kid like me, understanding that it doesn't really necessarily tie to the original series. I've said this to a few friends that are watching, like obviously talking about the show. Some have never seen the 90s show back in, the old school X-Men cartoon. You're gonna be disappointed because obviously the visuals are far better, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in a positive way. But ultimately, the stories is what captured you back in the 90s. The stories right now are far too rushed. They're far too limiting. But ultimately, I will give them credit because, again, some of them are actually very awesome. The Cable situation, Cyclops, Jean Grey, the whole 9 yards, Mr. Sinister, and ultimately the biggest cliffhanger of all, Apocalypse. So I will continue to watch, and I hope they do greenlight officially the second season. So ultimately, we'll have to see what ends up happening at the end, I guess. And yeah, I've got to do a review later on. This is actually good to hear now that I'm talking about it out loud to my own self. There's a lot of stuff we can do reviews on that I hope I will be able to get to it. Knuckles, Sonic, and basically Sonic the movie, and then there was Knuckles the show from Paramount. It is words. Yes, broken record. It is fucking garbage. So much fucking garbage. It's not even about fucking Knuckles. It was six, maybe 7 episodes. It's all about the fucking cop, the douche that like doesn't know what the fuck he's supposed to be or what he is, and da 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 da. It's so. There's one episode where it's like a musical where he's trying to find, and he's dressed up. Literally, this guy is dressed up in a Knuckles outfit, and it is tragic. Absolutely tragic. That's where I was hesitant saying to you about Star Trek and Discovery with Paramount, because Paramount was the one who made Knuckles, and dear God, if this is only a taste of what you're going to give us for Sonic 3, like the official movie Sonic 3, pray to God we don't get what they did here with Knuckles. It is an embarrassment, and yeah, that's one of those I really am passionate about, so stay tuned for a full review on Knuckles, but dear God, avoid it at all costs. Now, with all of that said, there is a lot that is coming, in the near future as far as series, as far as television shows. So to kind of round off and we'll finish up this episode, stuff that's coming in the near future, we've got Colin from Accounts, which was a New Zealand, Australia show. Super hilarious, super amazing. It is currently streaming on Paramount, the first season. If you want to just laugh your ass off and you understand European humor, trust me, check that out. We got season 2 coming up here pretty quick. The Mayor of Kingstown, or just Mayor of Kingstown, with Mr. Renner, aka Hawkeye. Season 3 is starting here soon. One of the most badass drama thriller shows that is out there. If you want to see just an epic show about crime and dirty grit, the dirty grit side of the world, the Mayor of Kingstown is fucking amazing. And seeing Renner as a bad/good guy, dope as hell. Seriously, absolutely amazing. The Acolyte, we kind of briefly touched on that. That's coming out next week, and obviously you already know how I feel about that. The Boys, season 4 we are this close to getting season 4, and I am very worried about it. I really, really am. Mainly in relation to a lot of the politics around it. I have a very, very bad feeling, and trust me, we're gonna talk about this so much more in the future. I have a very bad feeling of what they're gonna do in relation to Homelander and current events in the world right now with a particular individual. I hope you can get to where I'm going with that. So ultimately, I hope they stick to what makes The Boys one of the greatest shows that has ever existed. But just something, it's like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's like Furiosa. Something is it just ain't feeling right, So we'll see. Let's see. The Bear, season 3. Is it season? Yeah, season 3 of The Bear is soon to be coming. That's the one that's got the shameless guy who owns his own restaurant, and such an amazing show. It really, I would to this day, and I forget what episode, it was in season 2, but it's the Christmas episode if you can find it. It's on Hulu, Disney if you've got it, yada yada yada. Ultimately, there's an episode in it. I swear to you, hand to God, it is one of the greatest one singular episodes of television I have ever seen in my entire life. From the acting, the drama, the everything, like there's multiple people. It's fucking amazing. And the show itself it's special. It really, really is special. It's dramatic and heartbreaking and hilarious at the same time. It's Gordon Ramsay on steroids. So if you haven't checked out The Bear yet, you are really missing out, and I would encourage you to check it out. So we also are going to here soon have, obviously, House of the Dragon. We're gonna have Rings of Power, but I'm super looking forward to Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is having their final season here pretty soon. I cannot wait. Cobra Kai was one of those series, and to this day is still one of those series that stuck to its roots. And it is so amazing that a show can still do that. It's a rarity that can do that, you know. It's stuck away from the politics, it's stuck away from the wokeness, and it just gave us badass karate Cobra Kai shit. And I seriously hope that this final season sticks to it. They're breaking it into 3 parts, which is unique, but I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. But ultimately, I cannot fucking wait to see Ralph Macchio, or however you say his name, back in action and just kicking ass. It's gonna be a blast. And that's it, folks. So much to do, so much to talk about. I would love you all forever. As always, please subscribe right down below if you haven't already. Give me the thumbs up. Tell me your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Have you seen any of the shows we've been talking about? Movies I should be seeing? Let me know. We'll talk more later, but I also just recently saw Tarot, like the Tarot reading cards, the movie, the horror thriller. It's hilarious, but I'll do another review later on down the road. Ultimately, super duper appreciate everybody's love and support. Comic-Con, holy shit, is only less than 2 months away. Sweet baby Jesus, it's gonna be incredible. I cannot wait, and I hope you'll join us once I get back and I put all this shit together. And there's Deadpool and Wolverine, there's so much going on, it's crazy right now. So ultimately, I would super love it if you would, again, please keep up with Spot of Nerd everywhere you can. Listen, look, share, hip hop hooray ho, and we will see you guys next time. Later, y'all. So I do have to, again, sincerely give my thanks. The last couple episodes I did a review on Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. It was the review that got the most attention for this channel. And what I mean by that is from the comments. There are some very colorful people out there. And what I mean by that is from the words that they use. So I actually do appreciate all those interesting comments that people have provided, and I also really appreciate those that supported. So I just wanted to send a thank you. I really, really do, because it shows me that people are not only interested in this channel, but they're paying attention to it. And regardless of quote unquote the internet being the internet, it's just awesome to see that not only are people watching, but they're also contributing. And that's what this is all about. That's what I've wanted from the start with Spot of Nerd, is community, is discussion, is conversating. And like I've said, with the colorfulness, sure, there's been some interesting comments that have been interesting and colorful. So if that's just who you are and what you want to do, go for it. But just know that I'll probably just have something funny in response to say to you, because you can't get hurt about these things. It's hilarious. And for those that do genuinely send a comment of support and communication and chatter and things like that, like I've said, if you want to join in, I would love it. Hit me up, message me, whatever you want to do. I'd love to do a collab. Maybe we can do a podcast together or something where we just talk about anything, really. Movies, TV, life, the whole 9 yards. I think it would be fantastic if we could just build our own community, just like the Nerdrotic folks, and do all that stuff. So it'd be fun. Hit me up. You know how to. Or at least I hope you know how to, because fucking you're watching this shit right now. So thank you guys. Seriously, so much from the bottom of my heart. Sending all the love. Super appreciate it.